We live.
We are live. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We live. I know there's nobody in the room yet, but we're going to get it started anyway. So just letting y'all know we all the way live and we definitely not crabbing. But now, peace to everyone. Baragani Islam, Salam, Hatep, Hetepu, Rahubat, Gino Lakuni Nani, Chief Noble, Bandele El And once again, I got my boy in the building, KB in the building.
Yo, what up, everybody? What's good?
Definitely, man, about to get back into this finance. So, y'all know what it is. But before we get into that, man, I just got my books. Check out any and all my books on Amazon, starting with the Moorish treaties books and even the new Canaanite connection, and then even the religious guide to marriage. So just check out all the books, even the journal. Check out all the books on Amazon, and I can also check out indigenous peoples. No, indigenousservices.webs.com. That's indigenousservices.webs.com. One stop shop for all of your indigenous needs. All right. So, with that being said, we're gonna get back into this. This is part two of our financial literacy, or that our financial breakdown. So this is part two. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get back into some of the stuff we was dealing with on the last video. Um, I'm just popping up, man. But anyway, before we get into any of that, is there anything that you need to say or want to say?
Uh, you mean just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, anything you need to talk about?
No, just in general. No, no. We could, we could move
You
forward.
ready to get into? All right. You ready to get into this then? Uh, all right. So, like where we kind of left off last time, we believe we were somewhere around financial markets. Um, so we like this part right here is, I think, part of the last what we was talking about in the last video. So we just gonna kind of do a recap over this part. Um, so you got it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to get into that, I'm gonna hold on. Let me see. So if you want to get into that, you can go ahead and get into that. I'm gonna pull that back up. Let me see.
Okay. Well, yeah. So last time we talked about, we still dealing with the first part of the book. You feel me? We was going over chapter one. Chapter one was about his financial environments. So we talked about, we talked about a number of different things. We talked about what is finance, why study finance, six principles of finance, an overview of the financial system, and and now we at financial markets, characteristics and types. So
Yep.
we're talking
Hold
about
on.
financial markets.
You go ahead and talk. I'm gonna put it back up again.
Okay.
It's gonna do it different.
So once again, financial market. Do we understand what that means when we saying financial market? Is how I will put it. It's basically a place where you can go and buy financial products. You go to the market, you go to the supermarket, grocery market, to go buy groceries or whatever. It's the market you go to buy, financial instruments, financial assets, yada yada.
Right.
Uh,
Okay. So it's back. Yeah, it's be back up on the screen.
okay.
You,
So we
I
got the
remember.
financial. Uh huh.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. My fault,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. Did you have something to say before we got into
No, no, I did.
financial
No,
markets?
no, I didn't. Nope.
Okay. So we got here in the notes to say the purpose. Financial markets is marketing and trading securities, and it facilitates raising of financial capital, and it facilitates the issuance and trade of securities, financial securities, or different securities such as debt securities and equity securities. To okay, but yeah, you see that there, right? So that's a lot there. We
Right. We
could
talking about you said what debt securities and equity securities. We talked about that on the last video, y'all, too. So, by the way, please like this video and subscribe. Smash the like button, please. Okay, we really need that. But we did talk about debt securities, equity securities in our last video. There are different type of securities, so y'all got to check out what we talked about on that video. But go ahead.
okay. And we know that equity securities, includes like stocks and stuff like that, like securities that secure equity in something, or debt security, is security for a debt, just a piece of paper, you know what I'm saying? It's secure, you feel me? Uh anyway, but yeah, it's a lot there though. We could really go into a lot, that raising of financial capital. So we talking about, when businesses, so we also got, government and business entities listed here. So let's start with businesses. I mean, when businesses need to raise capital to finance a business project or whatever, they will issue debt securities and equity securities, right? Take
Right.
out a loan, or, maybe offer stock or something like that. So that's how they raise capital, through the issuance of debt securities and equity securities. So it's the purpose to raise funds and invest to grow their business. Yeah, we got it right here. And also the trade, you know what I'm saying? Because people can trade these securities, such as stocks, such as bonds. Those are tradable. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
So,
for sure.
and then we also got government entities. They might issue bonds. They issue a number of different bonds, to finance projects and services that the government offers or whatever. So they will issue or sell debt securities such as bonds. Um, so yeah, that fit in there. And the financial market is a place where you can go to purchase these things. You and I, all the viewers listening, if you can find a financial market, and if you got enough money, you can go here and purchase financial products just like you can at the supermarket. But it's a financial
Okay.
market. Okay, so where we at now?
You okay,
So
right? Money markets.
okay, so we got characteristics of financial markets, and one characteristic is one type we got is here is money and capital markets, right? So we got money markets. Money markets, is just a specific type of market. It's a short-term financial marketplace. The issuance of assets and short-term related liabilities such as debt securities, which the maturities is not a long time. It's 1 to 24 months or 1 to 2 years. So these is the place where you go and buy essentially securities that you won't have for very long. It's like a real short-term investment. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like it's different. I don't know if it's making sense, but these is where you would go buy to buy more short term financial securities, like I think T bills, certain government bills, or certain government bonds might be under this somewhere. Let me see. It do say, yeah, the Treasury bills. because you only hold them for a certain amount of months. You're not gonna hold on to that like a stock. You feel me? Like they gonna pay you in a few months. So that's just understand that is for more short term investment or instruments or
Yeah,
whatever. You feel me?
short term investments, right? Short term investments. I mean, what we also they say they're known as marketable securities or temporary investments. They're financial instruments that can easily be converted into cash. Typically, in the like you said, a couple of years, 2 to 5 years. Um, so, what are some of the examples I'm trying to find? So, like a CD, a money market accounts, or high yield savings accounts. Like you said,
Mm,
government bonds and T bills or treasury bills, if you will. Uh, Usually, these investments are high quality or what they're saying highly liquid assets or investment vehicles. So,
mm, yeah. I mean
uh,
that's something to even kind of get into on its own, but we're not gonna stay too much on there, but it's a lot here, a lot to look into, a lot to learn about. But I mean, did you think you want to go over anything here, or should we just move on?
um, oh man, it's up to you.
Okay, well, we can
Oh,
keep
did I take
going.
it off? I didn't mean
Let's see.
to take it off. I didn't
So
mean
we
to take
still
it off,
talking
but
about
okay, it should be back.
okay.
So, okay. Oh, okay. Let me look at it. Okay. Instruments of money market include. So the money market, we talked about that. You
Mm,
know what? Negotiable certificates of deposit, a commercial paper. Y'all need to look them up in the dictionary. What's commercial paper, right? Like what's commercial
mm,
paper? That's something to think about. So I just want y'all. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get into that tonight. I think that's for another day. But I just want y'all to remember negotiable, negotiable certificates of deposit and commercial paper. And that's all I got to say on that right now. If you want to move on, we can move on, man. Capital markets.
okay. Okay, so we got capital markets here. So capital markets, is market where you go to finance capital. I mean
Mark,
that's
yeah,
from what I'm saying. So it's a market where
markets
capital
where
funds are
capital.
traded. Uh,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
so it's market. Yeah, so we got exactly what you were saying. So markets where capital funds are traded, such as debt and equity securities. You know what I'm saying? So you like a business will issue stock to raise capital, and those instruments or those stocks, you can trade them. Everybody knows we can trade a stock like just because you buy the stock, mean you stuck with it. You know what I'm saying? You can trade that on the market. Um, so the capital market is where you can do that, and it's also the place where stocks go and certain debt securities, the ones that are longer than 1 year. So that's one of the main differences between this and money market securities, is that the debt securities that are traded in this market have maturities of longer than 1 year, and it also has stocks here as well, or I shouldn't even say stocks, equity securities. Um, but yeah, it's a capital markets. But yeah, at least from what I'm seeing here, it's called capital markets. You know what I'm saying? Where capital funds, or securities that been created to create capital. Um, so that's a lot there. Okay. Let's see, should we go over some more of this stuff? Capital what's it, capital market securities. It's a purpose to finance. I got capital here. It's not entirely clear. I do recommend, everybody don't take our advice. Always do your own research. This is just for, of course, just fun and education. Not even for educational purposes. This is just for fun.
This is for education, but we call it edutainment because you're getting some. We educating you in one way, but it's also entertaining. For you to get some understanding or just for something to be on YouTube. So, it's educational, but you got to make your own decisions. And we're not any financial. We don't have any financial degrees in this, but what we do know is that the fact is that as melanated people, we have a deficit in financial responsibility in a lot of ways. So we're just trying to educate people on how to, to get a better understanding of finance. So, take it or leave it. I'm gonna put this up though, so y'all can see this. I do want y'all to see that.
Okay.
You
Okay.
see what I'm saying?
So we were talking about the financial marketplace, the financial market. Um, we got a list of different security types of securities that you might find there. Just like if you would go to the supermarket, you can think of it like that. And then we got let's see, we can move forward because we're gonna kind of get into a bit about what type of the four major um, financial markets. We're gonna get into that, and that might take a few minutes. I don't know if you wanted to
Okay,
go
so
into
what you?
anything there.
Um, I don't think so. I mean, we talking about capital markets. We're leaving capital markets basically, right? Um, what I was gonna say was that capital markets they're where savings and the investments are channeled between suppliers and those in need. So understanding that suppliers are people or institutions with capital to lend or invest typically include banks and investors. So I mean, like just giving you a kind of what a capital markets include. You can I guess, but they say the most common right are stock market and bond market. So like
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying like a lot of people heard stock market, but we ain't heard of the bond market. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like most people ain't heard of the bond market, and that's so. So these are things that are just being put being put out there for you guys to pick up on because we gotta do better financially. You know, um, but
Oh
I don't
yeah.
have anything else to say on that.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we can get into.
So where we at? Primary and secondary markets, types
Okay.
of
Yeah.
financial markets. Yeah.
Okay. So primary and secondary markets. So primary, all you really need to know is primary markets are the place where the initial offerings take place. So it's almost like it's the security is being bought for the first time on the primary market. The secondary market is a place where you can buy securities that's already in existence.
Okay. So I
So,
got you. Secondary, primary market is primary securities.
uh,
I said a primary market has primary securities. Secondary market has like I ain't gonna say secondary, but like they already exist.
right.
So where will a primary market be? Like a bank?
It could be like if you like, if, for instance, if you buy a stock directly from the company when it was first issued, you feel me,
Okay.
versus you going on the stock exchange or whatever. You feel me? Or
I got you.
uh,
I got you. You there?
yeah, I'm in.
Okay. Okay. Just making sure. Okay. So we talking about types of financial markets now. What we
Okay,
doing?
so yeah, we're talking about the different types of financial markets. Um, and before we get into that, let's recap. Okay, so we is talking about financial environments. You feel me? This is still in the context within financial environments. And so we got the four types of financial markets.
Right.
Um, so what we got four major types is really we got foreign exchange markets where you can exchange currencies, where banks and institutional traders buy and sell currencies on behalf of businesses and other clients. That's self-explanatory. So folks be flipping money. That's like what's that thing folks used to use back in the day? They still use it now. Forex is a forex. It's like a forex type of place.
Hold up.
Exchanging dollars.
You
Uh,
said it's like forex.
yeah, I mean that's basically forex would kind of fit within the in the foreign exchange market.
Oh yeah, for
It's,
sure.
I mean, ain't that where you gonna buy foreign currencies, right? And you try to flip the currencies, forex.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's something to get into too, man. I do know a couple people who heavily invest in forex, and they've been in it for a few years. So yeah, that's definitely a market in that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So let's see. Next type we got is equity securities, stocks, shares in corporations, stocks less ownership in shares of corporations. Corporations can raise new funds either by private placement, this is new stocks, selling new stocks directly to specific investors. You feel me? So, I guess certain businesses might, they got a specific, group of people who might get the first offer and might get it at the best price or whatever before it go to the public. You feel me? So they got the public offering and selling
Right.
new stocks to the general public. Okay, so that's
Okay.
the equity securities market. So when you go and buy stocks, if you're very, very, very lucky, you might get it. But it could even be a smaller business too, though. Well, I don't know how many too many smaller businesses going public like that, but if business want to finance capital, want to get capital, you can issue equity securities. So what we got derivatives. Derivative securities is financial contracts or instruments that derive their value from underlying debt. Equity securities. I'm not gonna go too much
Oh,
into that unless you want to
nah,
go
why
into it.
not, bro? Like, what do you mean? What is a derivative security, man? Like,
Mm,
it just said this is financial contracts or instruments. Financial contracts or instruments that derive their value from underlying debt. What is that? What are they talking about, bro?
I mean, it could mean a number of different things for real, for real. I mean, I don't know. I didn't want to get all into derivatives because this is what it said right here. It said financial contracts are instruments that derive their value from underlying debt and equity securities. So let me see.
It get
I mean,
like I ain't gonna lie. This is a rabbit hole. Go ahead.
I mean,
You saying?
I, if let me see, it's really securities that you earn some type of derivative on. Let me see.
It say a derivative security is a financial instrument whose value depends upon value of another asset. The main types of derivatives are futures. See, this is what I'm talking about. Forwards, options, and swaps. An example of a derivative security is a convertible bond. Hey man, hey, they got so much game on this, bro. I'm just trying to tell. Look, y'all. I'm just trying to tell y'all, they got so much game. Like it's so deep. Like this money thing is deep. Go ahead, bro. I mean, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so I did look it up. So it's very similar to what it says here. It says a derivative security is a financial contract between
Yeah.
two parties for buying or selling a property, assets, commodities, or other security at a predetermined price within a specified time period. Generally, a derivative security is a contract representing a group of underlying assets. Um,
Now,
I,
now, look. That
uh,
remind me. That remind me of what happened with the. It kind of reminded me of what they was talking about when they had that the housing market in like 2008 when that bubble burst. The term derivative. Now I don't know. You know, everybody be using their own definition of derivative depending on the agency, but a derivative was how people was able to like get stuff that didn't have no money. So it kind of fit into this because you're talking about financial contracts or whatnot that really are something that's in the future, or they're gonna they're gonna place it in time somewhere in the forward, like the forward part is forward. They gonna put it in the future. So it's like these are securities or debts that are just that people are getting money on based on the fact that it's a debt. Am I not? Is that not part of it, or am I? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think you're right. I mean, you wanted to talk about it, just for a bit of clarity. I don't think it will hurt if
Well,
you
nah. I'm just
clarified
add
it
my thoughts.
just a bit.
I'm just add my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Like as we go through these, it's like a lot of this because we, looking at a lot of this information, you know, piggybacks off of other stuff. So it's like when I'm studying this, the financial part is like some of that builds on what you already know. And when you're looking at some law, like some legal stuff, a lot of that legal stuff, securities and all that stuff kind of come into play. So um, it's all interesting to me, man. So I'm not gonna take no more time on it though. But um, so we got the derivative securities, then we got the debt securities. Okay.
So what about the function that originate and trades debt securities, such as money market securities? Talked about that. Bonds, mortgages, also part of the debt security market. Some subdivisions of that is bond markets. You feel me? Talked about that. I don't know. Did we talk about that? I don't know. Mortgage markets. Um, but yeah, yeah.
Go
We'll leave it at
yeah,
that.
but
I mean, this is
yeah,
a
go
lot
ahead.
here. It's a lot here, man. It's really kind of difficult to go all into it. I mean, so I don't know, man. It's a lot there. I challenge the readers. I mean, the people if they want to know more, check it out. We just gave y'all our overview of it. The four major types of financial markets. So even kind of recapping, we also talked about financial markets characteristics and types. So we talked about financial markets. We talked about the characteristics of financial markets. We talked about money markets and capital markets, and we talked about the different types of other different types of financial markets. So we talked about the characteristics and the types of financial markets
Right.
and the financial environment. We talked about that in the first video. If y'all ain't checked that out, y'all might want to go start with that. But we gotta the next part of it is 1.6, but we can kind of just skip over 1.6 for real and go to chapter two if you want to get into chapter two. Now, chapter two, this is real meaty. We 30 minutes in, and we can go to chapter two. That would, I think, that would be something good to get into. So, I
Okay.
mean,
So
before we
what's
move
chapter
on
two?
though, what you think
Okay.
about chapter one though? If you had anything that you wanted to say about it, or any comments, or
No, I'm good. I'm good for real. I mean, we can go ahead and jump into part two, section two, chapter two, because
okay,
this is the fun part right here. This is the money and the monetary system. So
okay,
this is where it all gets tricky and fun. So let's get into it. You know what I'm saying?
okay. Uh I mean, so I mean, let's open it up with a general question, like, well, what is money? You know what I'm saying? Is money what is money?
Money is what everybody being killed for. Y'all over here killing people for it. Um, getting blood injections for it. I mean, mm, everybody know money. Like money is what everybody seem to want and go after.
Mhm.
And money. I mean, to me, money is just something used to exchange for a good or service. That's what money is on this, surface level. You use money for goods and services. You know, so I think that's what most people look at it, in my opinion.
Right? Is anybody in the if anybody in the watching this, if y'all want to drop a comment on what y'all think money is, we'd love to hear it. I don't know, is anybody there, bro?
Oh yeah, anybody drop it, even drop a comment on your definition of what money is to you, because that's important to know.
Indeed.
So
Yes,
I
sir.
mean,
As far as money, you know what? I think money is a very mysterious concept for real, for real. For real. I mean, I think we all can, you know, we all know money is Federal Reserve notes. You know what
that
I'm
far
saying?
in,
The dollar
I
bill.
don't. Yeah, most people don't look at it like that.
Well, I mean, most people look at money as definitely at least the dollar bill. We have to show me a picture of money. Most people
Dollar
can't,
bill, y'all,
right?
for sure.
But what it even is, because we know that the dollar bill is a Federal Reserve note. What is that? Like, you feel me? Like, what is this Federal Reserve note? That's when a lot of people the antennas raised, and
Well,
then they be like, you feel
yeah,
me?
yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
speculation on what exactly a Federal Reserve note is, and actually, to be honest with you, I don't know exactly what it is. Then I'm still trying to figure it out. So,
I hear you, man. Ultimately, it ain't no different than what we've been talking about. With paper, like it ultimately is paper. It's no different than some of the security we just talking about.
mm,
It ain't too much different than that in this time and age. So that's what That's why I think it's important to have these discussions about what money is, because so many people are getting so caught up in like living. So many people are caught up living this life for money and not really understanding what it is. All they see is like the superficial aspect of money. They only can see what money can buy you, coming from a consumer mindset. because most of our people are consumer in nature. So they don't really understand the mechanism of money. So chapter two, we're gonna break down what money is from a textbook perspective. Um, with other insight included, but you know,
Hmm. Yeah, man. Chapter two, it's some parts that I left out. You know what I'm saying? Just for time's sake, but it did contain a part in this chapter about the history of money in the United States. That's very interesting to look at. I haven't fully made my rounds and
yeah,
good luck at it, but I just from what I generally know about it, it's a very interesting. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's like where did money come from? This piece of paper, and honestly, I think a lot of folks is questioning it, and I done heard a lot of stuff, you know, but it's still not making sense. So we're gonna try to demystify, you know, money if possible. We probably not gonna do it this round, but we're gonna try our best. But
we're definitely gonna get into it. We're gonna try to get into it a little bit. So, I mean, let's look at what you got in your notes as far as chapter two. It said money and the monetary system. So, what are we
right.
looking at? What where you want to go? You want to go to? Are we going through that, or
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
just
even start here because so, like you said, we're talking about money and a monetary system. So these is just some learning objectives. Y'all might have a chance to read them. Let me just go over a few of them. So we're going to describe three ways in which money is transferred from savers to businesses or to borrowers. You feel me? Because you're going to put the money in the bank, yada yada. You feel me? So identify the major components of the monetary system. Okay. Describe the function of money. Describe the major types of money market securities. Just talked about that in chapter one. And financial markets, and explain and one in two definitions of money that's going to relate to the Federal Reserve. We're going to explain the relationship between money supply and economic activity, and possibly even talk about describe developments in international monetary systems. Yes,
mm,
sir. So
okay. All
2.2.
right. So, all right. Let's get into it then. Right. Uh, what's a process of moving savings into investments?
Bruh.
That's important. That's important. That right there tell it all. Because most of y'all keep your money in a savings account and that's it. Like that's all. Y'all put. That's what we was told. Your grandmama. That's what they did. And we all know that you don't yield a lot of interest. You barely break even with the cost of money going up, the interest rate versus the your interest. You ain't making no money. You know what I'm saying? So process of moving savings into investments. That's rich people thoughts. That's rich people thinking right there, y'all. That's what wealthy people think like this. So, all right, go ahead. So you go in. You can go into it.
I mean, that's a lot there. I mean, I think that's even within itself. I mean, it's a head in it. So I think it's definitely something key to even, really kind of talk about, just even for a few minutes because like the brother said, we go and put our savings into just a regular savings account. Even worse, brother got just a plain checking account and the money just sitting there. These funds is being used. So while you got your savings in there, the banks is going to take that and put that into investments. And a lot of times, folks, is not in the world of on the investment side. You feel me? They're not on the loaner side. A lot of times we end up on the saving side or even on the consumer side. We got our iPhone out there because we done took out this car note, got the paycheck, and put it in the savings and took it out, and now the bank got the car. All type of stuff, bro.
Right. Hey, facts.
So we got to understand we need to get on the other side of the fence and tap into. because the best that's what the bank is there for. The bank is there for it's supposed to be there for the community, for its customers to, people to put in a pool of money and for people to be able to go there and finance and do, investor capital, la la la. You feel me? So
Yep.
I think that's very important to understand that, we got to get somehow on the other side of the fence to the investments and, acquiring asset side, because we definitely be putting our money into the banks, but we don't really get the benefits of doing that a lot of times. uh but yes, sir. So I mean, did you want to add anything on that? I don't think that we couldn't ain't no way we can spend too much time even talking about this idea. This is a key idea. This is a very fundamental idea of how finances work.
No, yeah, you're right. No, I don't have anything to add to that right now. We can move forward.
Okay.
Where we at?
um
We at the process of moving savings into investments. So that's yeah. So this is what we this is key. This is key into really creating some type of um, you know cushion, if you will, like to create that the money you're gonna need in retirement types. You know what I'm saying? That because that's what it. Little do we understand is that we creating this money first primarily is so that when we are older we got enough money to live off of. Okay, ultimately. So I mean, like when we're talking about in these investments and things of that nature, it's not like we're not saying this for you to become like you're gonna become rich, but you definitely got to, in order to become wealthy, you have to look at how to make your money turn into an investment. You know, a lucrative investment because ultimately what we're trying to do is make money so that we can be okay. We can either retire early and we can die comfortably. All right. I mean, let's keep it a buck, you know. So where we at right here? We talk about financial institution and markets. Do we already go transfer money?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from people who have access funds, such as maybe you and me, we going to put our money in the bank. We got 10,000 just sitting in the bank, just for it to spend, and the bank gonna take that money and gonna give it to people who need money. You feel me? So if we not getting financing, and if you're not financing anything, you got a bank account. What you got that account for? I mean, other than just have a debit card. I mean, you might as well just. Well, yes. So that's pretty much the idea. These two things. It's fairly simple. The saving investment process. That's, I guess that's commonly referred to. They're gonna take your savings and then they're gonna give it to Bill and them, and then they're gonna buy a condo or some shit. I don't know. Whatever.
Right. Right. But that's what they doing with your money though. When you got your money sitting there, they're using, of course, they're taking your money and using your money to make more money. Okay, how do we get in on that? Like, how do we get in? That's that, and this is what we're talking about. Like, instead of just having your money sitting there in savings, allegedly, but really it's being used in doing other stuff for the bank. How can you get more bang for your money? So we talked about the access money. Now we talking about needs for more money, business firm and others. Um,
Oh yeah, that's
okay, so
crazy though. Cause I mean, they even put, man, these banks, man. I don't know if too many of y'all didn't deal with these banks, but these banks ain't really too much. I mean, these banks,
they're
they put
not
limits on how much you can spend each day. If you lose your card, you might not get a card. You call customer service, the customer service janky. You feel me? If something go wrong, you feel me? You overdraft or whatever. A lot of these
Hey,
banks are too much, man. We don't get
I
too
mean,
much.
banks be sucking money out of you. Like banks suck money out of you. Like you gotta have you pay money every month to be. They taking a fee for that. You know, they're taking your money and using your money. If you got a nice little bit of money in there, they taking and using your money to make more money. They borrow. They borrowing. They giving people your money. You know, based on your worth, they're making a lot of money, and typically we don't make a lot off of it. Like typically on the banking side, we really don't make a lot just from a bank. Like put my money in a bank perspective, we really like guinea pigs or some kind of I don't know. I mean, like we just not in control with our money when we do that. So that's why you got to figure out other ways to move your money around. So it's like I say, this one says needs for money, more money, business firms and others. So like it's important for you to even have a business and look at everything from a business sense too, because you got individual, but you also got corporate or business side, and even though they're supposed to be two different things, but you can use both sides. You can use a business. You create a business, you know, so that you can use that. So, um, food for thought.
Yeah,
So
that's
go
very good.
ahead, man. Um, where we at now with two types of economic? Oh, you got anything else to add?
I'll just say that we're going to talk about, well, hopefully, but I do intend to talk about possibly the different types of banking options. You know what I'm saying? Because it is different banking options. So maybe we could talk a bit more about that later. But yeah, what was talking about investment saving process. We're talking about the process of moving savings into investments. Is we on to something else on the next page?
Are we on
Okay.
the next page? Oh, saving investment process. Is that what you're going to? It do
Oh,
got two
okay.
types of economic units: surplus and deficit. So I mean, y'all just two type of economic units: generate more money, spend more money, and brings it in. Must balance its money receipts with money expenditures by obtaining money from surplus units. That's, see how that's like heavy stuff. I mean, like I ain't gonna say heavy, but I mean the language they're talking is not common language. So you guys, we really gotta wrap our head around some of this. I'm telling you, man, melanated people been so um, put such in a spell and just not just miseducated and undereducated in the right places. Like we just don't know enough about the money. This some of the stuff I feel like it's hard to even comprehend sometimes. You know, for your
Mm,
average person on the street, like this thing over their head.
I
But
mean,
anyway, I don't know.
okay. Uh,
But what we at? We talking about my fault. Deficient economic unit and a surplus. So we talk about two types of economic units. So like
okay.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, break it. Go ahead.
So yeah, these is really just. I mean, with the deficit economic unit, of course, I took a few things from the text and I abbreviated it. So I mean, I remember in this part it was talking about businesses who might make not be making enough money and need financing to, I mean, it's just like, you feel me though? It was basically people who got extra money and people who need money. Or or you feel me?
I mean, I'm following you, bro. I mean, I hear you. People who need more money, it brings in a must balance. But this is the part I'm saying. It must balance its money receipts. with
Hmm.
money expenditures by obtaining money from surplus units. Like that right there is like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it could even be something simple like, let's say you run a business and a grocery store. Let's say some of your food might have went bad. You know what I'm saying? And you need a quick loan to restock on food. You done spent. It's a deficit. The books ain't gonna add up, so you might go ahead and get financing somewhere, and then if it's all right, you still make a profit, and then if it's all worked out correctly, at least you don't end up with a deficit, losing money, or
Right,
whatever. I don't know.
right. But I mean, it's saying okay. So it's saying must balance is money receipt, right, with money expenditures by obtaining money from boom the first economic unit. So
Mm,
it's saying basically I got to obtain money by generating more money than it spends, access money to save and invest. So it's got to spend more money coming from your surplus.
hmm.
And I mean that's basically what it's saying. Two types of you making money or you losing money, and then you got to kind of like uh, break even or balance it out by using your surplus. And we don't. Your surplus you want to keep as much surplus as you can. So you don't really want to be in a deficit economic unit. But if you do, that means you got to reply. You got to rely on the first economic unit, which is the surplus. All right. So, all right, you go ahead, bro.
Let's see.
I'm
So we got saving the investment process. So we got here the direct slash indirect transfer of individual savings to business firms and to from business debt and stock securities to individual savers. So I don't know
oh,
if individual savers.
individual
Because I
savings
think,
to business firms. So they saying in order for you to invest, you got to go from individual savings accounts. So they're saying like invested in business firms. What do they mean by that? What do you think they mean by that?
I think it's pretty much kind of even what we've been talking about. You're gonna put your money in the bank. You feel me? You let's say you got 10,000 to send in the bank in a savings account, or even in a checking account. Could even be sitting there for some time, and they're gonna loan it out to business firms who need money, people who bank with them, who they're gonna apply for loan. They're gonna loan at least part of that shit out of your money. Uh, then we got individual savers. So it also provide, it also can provide, things such as uh, these assets, such as business debt or bonds and stock securities. So it also facilitates that too as well. The investment saving process also allows securities such as business debt investments. You feel me? These
Okay.
investments. You feel me? It also allows investments because when the businesses when they need the financing, it's gonna be some type of paper created. You feel me? It's gonna be some type of paper created. It'll be a stock or whatever. You feel me? Some type of type. I don't know what you would call it. Security, right?
I'm with you. I mean, I'm following what you're saying. Indirect savings, business firms, individual savings, and business firms. Like you said, I mean, a business firm, um,
And you could
like they
even
said,
go. It's a chart down here
business firms and business debt
kind of
is
might explain it just a bit better because we're talking about direct transfers and the indirect transfers of savings funds and investment securities or whatever. It's a
so
it's a chart right below.
right. Okay, we're gonna get into that. But what I was gonna say was that just you know, I mean, you just look at this A and B, right? So you got individual savings and business firms. Business firms, we're talking about investing into some type of business that or stock security. That's basically what you're doing is investing it in a business security. But I will say this: this is well. Let me. I haven't gone to the next part, but I was thinking that governmental, like even if you invest in government stocks or like government T bonds, that's an investment as well. Okay, so but let's look at this though. We got the diagram, so let's look into this. Go ahead. You can go ahead into this.
Okay, so what we got here? We got the two types of transfer. So we said that in the savings to investment process, we got two types of transfers. How money is funds is moved from different economic units, right?
Right.
So with direct transfers, you can see it right here. See savers, the money going to the business firm. So it's in the indirect transfer, they would get security, probably some type of bond or some type of. So that's directly. It's like if I go up to Apple, and Apple needs some money, so they selling stocks to raise more funds to do the iPhone 2023 or whatever. They need some bread, so I'm like, here, Apple, take my money. They gonna give me whatever security, rather if it be some type of bond or some type of equity security, it will go directly to me. Now that's a directly. You feel me? It's a direct transfer. So we do indirect transfers. Instead, you going indirectly to Apple. So you going through an investment banking firm. So that's probably more likely how we might get to Apple. I don't know. So instead of going directly to Apple, we get the money to the investment banking firm, and then they
Third
would
party,
take.
third party stuff.
Uh huh.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. I just say. I'm just saying.
Okay. Uh, and another way of indirect transfers through a financial intermediary, such as a financial institution. This could be, you know, even the New York Stock Exchange. I don't know, mutual fund, whatever. You feel me? So instead of, let's say, mutual fund, we ain't even going all that, but this is just another way. This investment banking firms. We're gonna talk about hopefully what an investment banker could be. Learned about that. Learned about that in chapter one. It could be different banks. You feel me? Especially different types of banks. Mutual funds, all types of stuff. Any place that you can go in a financial institution in a financial market, that sells securities through you indirectly, probably on the secondary market, however. So we kind of talked about that. I mean, that should kind of not be too complex, but they even say that they sell their
Right.
own securities, so they have their own securities. So a lot of times, this might be what you might think about as a mutual fund, because when you go and invest in a mutual fund, you're not buying the stocks per se. You buying part of the mutual fund. Buying security from the mutual fund. So that's an example there, right?
Right. Um. So a mutual fund. I I've heard this term for years. Um. What do we really understand a mutual fund? Just to throw it out there, a mutual fund is a professionally managed investment fund that pools money from many investors to purchase securities. The term is typically used in the US, Canada, and India, while similar structures around the globe you include something else. So it's crazy. Like so a mutual fund is basically, they're pulling a whole bunch of investors in to purchase a security.
Right.
Interesting.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the mutual fund, because the mutual fund, instead of you going buy Apple, they go ahead and buy Apple, Google, and all that, and you can just buy part of them. You feel me? You can just get a stock. Let's say you go to Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo got a mutual fund. Wells Fargo going to buy Facebook, Disney, all that, put it all in one package. But you don't buy Disney and all that. You buy just part of Wells Fargo. You get the security from Wells Fargo. Rather, if it probably be some type of equity, some type of stock saying that that you got stock in that company.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. I
Let me see.
think.
I'll put this up.
But yeah, did you want to talk any more about that? I mean, it's a lot there, folks. I mean, and I think at the same time though, a lot of us pretty much understand that for real, for real. I mean, or have some type of idea of what this means. I hope I'm not lost, but not. But no, we talking about so we talking about the savings to
Where
investment
we at now?
process. And
So
this chapter is what is money in the monetary system. So remember, we're talking about money, and this might be like, why does this relate to money?
you said, how does this relate to money?
Like, how does this relate to money?
I
But
mean, that's what needs to be broken down to. Because I mean, a lot of this stuff is like not it's money, but it's it's a different way of. It's not just the money. It's not money that we know. Like when we talking about the securities and all this stuff, those are not necessarily looked at as Benjamins and Franklin and Benjamin Franklin and like dollar bill domination denomination. This is just like financial instruments.
mm-hmm,
Like it's different. You know what I mean? So most of us are used to dealing with money. That is like the primary, the basic level type of transactional paper, that is used in day to day transactions, day to day, personal, private, public, you know, transactions is done through money. So like all this stuff we talking about is like usually beyond. It's like kind of beyond our scope because we're just so used to just money, what we see in paper, you know, on the streets. Like this is what people use on the street. This is what people people use money. People use dollar bills to buy their dope. I mean to buy, you know what I mean? Like this is what they use on a basic level. So
mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. That's I just want y'all to think about that. You know.
So,
Yes, sir. So where we at, man? Where we at? Where we at?
so
We
with
get
the
late.
direct
We get
transfer, I think we kind of get this. I don't think I got the notes here, but I think we kind of understand that the difference between a direct transfer of a security versus an indirect transfer of a security. I think
all
we
right.
kind of get that and how money can flow from savers into investments. I mean, it's going to be important though because we talk about the Federal Reserve. No, we also understand that the government deals in different securities, right? Different investments with the government and all that, and how the government finances itself. You know what I'm saying? How does the government
Yeah.
gain financing? I mean, that's also key to understanding the Federal Reserve note. I mean, I don't think we're going to talk too much about the Federal Reserve note, but
I mean,
I
kind
mean, we're
of
going to kind
like
of get,
yeah.
I
I'm
guess
about to
we
say
get
kind
into it right
of.
now.
We got to. We got to. I mean, like I feel like we probably gonna get really into that in the next on the next um, on the next video. But the monetary system is the next one up outside of what we were just talking about. Since we kind of got all that down, it's kind of just reinforcing a lot of what we already explained. But now we get into the monetary system. We're talking about a little bit of a different subject matter, and there's a lot of I'm gonna say controversy behind the monetary system. So this will be interesting to break this down from a textbook perspective. Um, so I mean, we can. I would say we can start. We want to start on the monetary system because before we get into it though, before you start, we talk about we're not gonna talk about the feds that much, but let me just make it clear that when we're talking about this monetary system right here, that essentially that we're talking about the Federal Reserve System, right? Right, like I say, right here, central bank, Federal Reserve.
Oh yeah, I mean
So
it's
I mean, this
definitely
is
one of the major actors.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, you go ahead, brother. I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Okay, so just a recap though, quick recap. So we're talking about money and the monetary system, right? That's the chapter that we on, chapter two.
2.3,
Yes,
as you got it. You know,
yes, sir. So 2.3, we talked about savings and the investments. So now we're talking about the monetary system. What about the monetary system? So the monetary system is responsible for creating money and transferring money. And so creating and transferring money. You feel me? Okay, and we're gonna talk about that right now. I mean, what you looking at, bro?
you say what?
Are you pulling up a definition of money?
Oh,
That's how we started the
oh,
conversation.
I didn't
You
mean to do
know,
that.
what do
I didn't
y'all
mean to
think
do that.
money is?
I didn't mean to do that though.
Oh, well, you could have left it up. I mean, because that's I think what a lot of folks is interested in. Is money. I mean,
No, you're right.
extra
You're right. But
extra definition definitely
I
good.
was just uh I was just gonna look it up. I didn't mean to put it like that, but I just wanted to. I was gonna look up money. Go ahead. Go ahead. We go. You can continue on to what you was
Okay. So
talking
it's
about.
two major actors in the monetary system. So we got the central bank, which is the Federal Reserve, and the banking system, or depository institutions. Okay, so Federal Reserve, it defines and according to here, it defines and regulates the amount of the money supply. So it defines the money supply and it regulates the amount of money that's in circulation. Okay, so that's just. I mean, of course, the Fed
You can
has
go.
other, does a lot of other things, but at least for just a basic of what it does to the monetary system, we can go with that. Define and regulate the money supply. So we got the banking system and the depository institutions. So I mean, this is a lot of good stuff. We could even I wish we had time, but these is really good. The types of banks, the type of depository institutions. So we got commercial banks, savings and loans associations. What is that? What is that? Savings banks, credit unions. Most of us probably heard of credit unions, and
I've
probably
heard of
commercial
saving
banks.
banks, savings banks. That I've seen them around. Um,
Mm,
Saving and loans. A lot of that. There was a big thing about the bubble bursting on saving and loan. Certain banks back in the I want to say like the 80s, 90s. somewhere between there was a big saving and loan thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Commercial banks. This is one that I do hear of, but I think that this one is like important. Like commercial banks is something that's very needed to be discussed in a sense because uh, you got like it's commercial, so it's like it's outside of your personal like banking system. Like most people are going to get a savings account, savings bank. They go to a credit union. A commercial bank is like big money, a lot of more money involved, and you're dealing from a corporate perspective. You're not dealing from an individual person, uh, accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead, but let's see what we have. Commercial, and then you got four. You say after that, it's four functions
The
that it
four
does.
functions of the banking system to create money. I mean, banks do create money. Actually,
Right?
I was looking at something today that was saying like most of the money isn't created by the Fed. They say most of the money is created by banks. You know what I'm saying? By loaning out money and earning interest. You know,
Hold up,
banks
hold
create
up.
money.
Bank, you say that most money is not the feds, it's the banks.
Yeah, they say most money isn't created by the Fed. It's created by banks.
Okay, but how do they? I mean, how is that possible? You see what I'm saying? I mean, like that sounds like some federal, like y'all, it's Federal Reserve fractioning or something like that, right? Like where they take and give you money, but then they give the power to the banks to create money off of the money they give them.
Uh,
So, I mean, ultimately, the Federal Reserve gives these banks money, and then they're allowed to take that and make a percentage of that money and make it more money.
yeah, the
Federal,
banks give them like some type of credit or something.
yeah, it's like Federal Reserve. What is it called? Um, Fractioning.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just trying to think. I mean, like this fractional, yeah, like fractional reserve banking, right?
Okay.
So, I mean, that's how the money is made. The money is made through fractional reserve banking. So when you say like
Well,
most of the
I
banks
mean,
make their own money, they can't. I mean, because they're all tied into the Federal Reserve. They've all signed on to the contract with the Federal Reserve.
you know what? I didn't
So
even heard that sometimes you can, and then I might not be totally right with this, but you can even think of the Fed as the bank's bank. You feel me?
okay, okay, there you go.
So like let's say they only got like 1 million, you know, in the vaults or whatever, on their books, but they needed the loan money. They can go to the Fed. You feel me? And with the fractional reserve, I mean, ain't that how it kind of work though? They can go use the fractional reserve banking system. However they do that, and the Federal Reserve will get them the credit or whatever. Is that how it go? In some type of way?
Well, right. I mean, it's like the first. Okay, it's in the fractional reserve banking, uh, the bank is only required to hold a portion of customers' deposits on hand. So it's freeing it to lend out the rest of the money. The system is designed to continually stimulate the supply of money available in the economy while keeping enough cash on hand to meet withdrawal requests.
Mm-hmm.
But check it out. This is deep. This is deep, y'all, because I mean, we always talk about, like, you always hear about fractional reserve banking. I just add, it says, when did the fractional reserve banking end? It says, as announced on March 15th, 2020, the board reduced reserve requirement ratios to 0%, effective in March of 2020. This action eliminated reverse requirements for all depository institutions. So I'm just throwing it out there, but like, um,
I mean, but that's how the Fed like help controls the money supply though, because you said if they reduce the limit or whatever, that's gonna stimulate, banks to or people to want to learn or to loan out more money. You feel me? And people to get the finance and to help grow the economy. I think. I'm not 100% totally sure, but I remember now that you saying that, I do kind of remember something I may have read maybe like a while back that says something very similar to that. Because the Federal Reserve, they do limit the supply of money. Like even with the inflation that's going on now, you might be hearing about the federal. What is the Federal Reserve going to do about the inflation and all? The Federal Reserve did this or did that. I mean, a lot of times, you know, at least hypothetically, they supposed to be there to regulate the money supply. Because even right now, they say it's too much inflation because there's too much money out there. The bank been loaning out too much money or whatever happened.
right.
But
So, so okay, from this is what I'm understanding. You're saying that so when you create an account at a bank, in the contract you sign, it allows that bank to use a percentage of your deposit as a loan to other bank customers. So, but it says that this doesn't mean you don't have access to your money, but it only means that if you want to remove more than a percentage that the bank keeps on hand, such as, like they say, such as the entire balance. It says from the account, the bank will need to access funds from somewhere else to give you your balance. Okay. So when you deposit money in your savings account, your bank can use a specific amount of capital to fund loans and pay you for using your money. So if you deposit $2,000, the savings account pay interest. Generally, they're saying like between half a percentage or 2%. So you receive an interest payment for on your money, and the bank can use part of it in a loan. So in turn, the bank might want to access 80% of your money to use it for loans to other customers. They said 80%, bro.
mm,
So so in a sense, I mean, this is just kind of telling you what happens with your bank, with your money in the bank account. So everybody who got like 2,000 or more dollars in the bank, just realize that they are using your money to do something with, and they're probably making a lot more money than they're giving you in percentage. If you're only getting like point 0.5, well, 0.05 two, well, no, was it 0.05? Yeah, 2.05 to 2% of your money interest wise. I mean, I think that's why people want to invest their money in other stuff besides letting it sit in the bank.
oh yeah,
Uh,
and then even for that, I mean, it's options. I mean, we even was talking about the money market. The Yeah, with the money market, those is not long term investments. A lot of them, at least from what I hear, they yield more money than a savings account. Cause man, I tell you, man, even me myself, I done had a little bit of money just tucked away and just let it stay in I had money on a prepaid card, just letting it sit on there for maybe about a little bit of time, man. And now I think about it, I'm like, man, why the hell did I just have that money just sitting in that account like that? I hated the card service and everything. Like I kind of, but I guess you know better, you do better. I mean, that's why we learn it now. But don't keep your savings on the prepaid card. Don't be like me now, please. That's just you can be putting in your money in an account and be at least earning some interest or whatever, some type of investment. While you saving your money, that's how you know it's supposed to be done. If according to whatever. But y'all get what I'm
Yeah,
saying, though.
yeah. So hey, y'all like this video and subscribe as well. So I just throwing that out there, y'all. Please like the video, get our algorithm jumping, and subscribe and click the bell. So um, what's we at, man? We about what, man? You want to wrap? I mean, like we can kind of wrap it up for the next one, man. I mean, because I do want to get into money. I feel like um, the Federal Reserve is a controversy topic, um, and the particular money system that the United States is using is very. It's been criticized a lot, and there's a lot to deal with this whole money thing. Money is um, it's really the blood of the blood of the finance economy. It's
Right.
the most seen. It's the most. I ain't gonna say the most important part, but it's like it's the most massive instrument that is shown to us. This is the one instrument that we see more than anything we ever talk about. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be interesting, but you know,
Yeah. Then we could even really get into, what is the Federal Reserve? No, I mean, we got a few things here, but that would even be a really good topic to even talk about. What is this Federal Reserve? No, and really kind of get to what that dollar bill that we see actually is. You feel me? I
dollar
think of
dollar
a
bill, y'all.
I think a lot of us already got an idea of what it is, but let's just bring some clarity to it. And but yeah, I think that'd be a good video. Y'all stay tuned. So what do we even talk about today? We talked about the financial markets. So we wrapped up chapter one, talking about the financial environment, right? We talked about, so go check out part one if you're interested in that one. But what we talk about today, financial markets. We started talking about chapter two, money and the monetary system, and what we was talking about, the saving and to investment process. Uh, and what else we talk about? What were we just talking about? Oh yeah, indirect transfers and direct transfer of savings and investments. All
Yeah,
that.
yeah, no doubt. All the tedious. This is all the tedious stuff, man. This all the, you know. Sometimes it ain't always fun, but it is essential. Just to get the basics. So appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we're gonna catch you on the next video and continue down this rabbit hole of finance. So, um, any last words, brother?
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for tuning in. If anybody here, definitely come back next time. Comment, like, share. Peace.
Peace.